Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk about having a 9 to 5 and creating content even when you think you have no story to tell. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Daniel. I have a full-time job. I also have my part-time business that I run on my free time. So yes, I do know the struggle and I do know how it is having a full-time job and trying to grow your business at the same time. I hope these tips can help you and give you a little bit of clarity. If you're on the fence of thinking, I want to start creating content, but I have my full-time job and I don't feel like I really have much that I want to talk about, but I do want to create content. And I want to start off by saying, like, this is not a tip, this is just me. So one of the things that drew me to start creating content was because I like the editing process. I do like doing different things with video editing, and I think it's pretty cool. Also, it helps me get into that zone, that flow state zone of just me creating just work that I like, two that I enjoy. It gives me, like, I guess, a little bit of purpose like after work, because I have something to look forward to. I've always wanted to create content, but I feel like in the beginning it's kind of like, oh, I have so many things that I want to talk about, or like I don't have anything to talk about, or what is my life like, should I talk about my life or whatever. I hope this video helps a little bit if you're in that space right now, and I would love to know your thoughts after the video. So the first thing that I want to talk about is recognizing your unique journey. The journey and whatever you're going through right now, it's only you. It's only you as a person. Like, you know exactly what you're going through. You know, like, what kind of phase of life you're in, and you know the struggles. You know everything that you're going through. Just the fact that you are going through your own struggles and you're going through your own journey in life, that should be enough to start creating content that could eventually help someone else. The way that you see things, the way that you have your perspective on life is completely different than the way that I have my perspective on life and the way that I see things, because we're not the same person. Talking about your journey and talking about the things that you struggle with or the things that you've overcome, I think will be beneficial for someone, even if you have a small channel, if you're just getting started, because you never know who's going to click on that video and they're going to see your content and be like, oh, I can relate to that person. And then little by little, that's how you start building your tribe. That's how you start building your community. Another thing too is, like, you don't need a dramatic background. You don't need a dramatic story. Like, whatever story you're going through, whatever journey you're going through is good enough. Not everybody's going to relate, like, oh, they had a dramatic background, like that's my person. No, like, everybody's going to relate to you as, like, your personality, your journey, whatever you're going through. I feel like sometimes, oh, well, that person has a lot of followings because they have a dramatic background. Not exactly. Like, people just gravitated towards them because maybe they went through a lot of stuff that they could relate to, and that's why they follow them. So again, you don't need a dramatic background. Just share your story exactly where you are right now. All right, the next thing that I want to talk about is identify your passion. Now, this could be similar to what you hear people say all the time, like, what is your niche? What are you passionate about? Of course, that helps, I think, especially in the beginning, but I think identifying your passion or the things that you like to talk about doesn't necessarily have to be business driven, doesn't necessarily have to be something that you want to make money of, because in the beginning, you don't even know where you're going. Do you want to create content to make money, or do you want to create content just to have fun? You could talk about things as simple as, like, do you find something interesting in your 9 to 5? Does your 9 to 5 offer something that you're like, for example, my job, like, there's a lot of leadership skills, there's a lot of leadership that goes into, like, the job that I have and talking to people. Is that something that I wanted to talk about? Then I could use those skills from work into giving my content and the content that I want to share. Does your job have a lot of Excel sheets that you have to use? Are you really good at Excel? Do you have your input on Excel that could make life better? Do you use ChatGPT for your job? Like, does your job have something that you can talk about from ChatGPT, or you give your perspective on how you use ChatGPT to make your job easier because you know how to use ChatGPT better than anybody that you know or something? What do people usually go to you for advice? Like, what are things that you do or that you like to talk about that nobody really around you knows much but you? Also, same thing with a dramatic background. Like, you don't need a super elaborate story. Like, you just need something that you genuinely, like, interested in and, like, that you like to talk about. It doesn't have to be something crazy. Like, maybe you just started playing golf not too long ago and you're learning how to pick up the golf club, or like, you're learning how to swing. I don't know, maybe that's your new passion and you want to talk about that. You're like, hey, I want to share my story from zero because I just learned how to pick up the golf club and I want to be good at it. Something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be this elaborate story. It could just be something that you're generally, like, learning. For example, me, something I could talk about besides creating content after your 9 to 5 is I just started running. I just bought some new shoes and they're pretty cool. Like, I've been thinking about it, like, maybe I should create a review about this because, like, these shoes are pretty solid and, like, I want more people to know about it. If you're passionate about something or you're starting something new, that could be something that you could create content around after your 9 to 5. One of the beauties about that is you don't have to plan the content because you are already doing it. Does that make sense? Like, you're creating the content as you're doing it. And that ties into the next tip that I have for you, which is document, don't create. Now, I'm pretty sure you've heard Gary Vee talk about this because this is, like, one of his big things, like, document, don't create. Again, like, tying those two in. If you're passionate about something and it's something that you're already doing, like, you don't have to think about what kind of content you're going to create. You just have to document. Get the camera, record. after your 9 to 5. Let's say you're really big into the gym, like you can record after your 9 to 5, going to the gym, on the way to the gym, changing your shoes, whatever you're doing after work, you can just document that. You don't have to create, and which will make maybe people that want to gravitate towards that because they're going through the same thing. This other tip also goes together with a tip that I gave earlier, talking about your job, is leveraging your 9 to 5 skills. Like, what skills are you really good at in your job that you do better than your coworkers, or that do you have something that piques your interest better than your coworkers, or like you just generally enjoy it? What are some tips, or what is something that you've learned at your job that you're passionate about and that you could talk about? For example, like let's say you're into marketing. What have you learned? What are you really good at in marketing at your job that you could create content around? What is your story? What is your point of view into that? What can you talk to people about marketing, or seeing things from your point of view that nobody else around you can? Those are some of the things that you could put in your content, because like I said, is your story, is the way that you are seeing things. Another way that you can tell your story from your point of view is tell your stories through lessons. This could be something, for example, like what did you learn during any given day that you cite a different point of view on things, and that maybe nobody else around you, maybe they use, for example, let's say you overcame a busy day at work. What did you learn through that story, or what did you learn through that day that you think that you learned something from? Or what can you share with your audience? Like, hey, I learned this the other day, and this is my story. This is how I saw it from my point of view. And it could be like you could create content around that. And again, it's sharing story. You're not creating anything crazy. You're just creating stories from your point of view. You're giving your thoughts and opinions on something that you learn. And it could be something as simple as like anything small that you felt like you learned, or anything small that you felt like you're the only person that saw that from that point of view. And then just give your thoughts on that. The last tip that I have for you is find your community. And this one is something that have yet to find. Like, I've been in different communities, and I've been in different groups, and I can honestly say that the communities that I've been a part of like has helped a lot, because one, everybody stays motivated, people stay like sharing stories, and they give you like their point of view on things, and it helps you feel like, okay, well, I'm not alone in this. Like, there's other people struggling with the same things, there's other people doing the same things that I'm trying to do right now, and there's other people who are going through the same stuff. And when you have a community, when you have people around you kind of like shooting for the same goal, it helps you stay motivated, it helps you stay positive, and it helps you stay inspired, right? Like, when you have a community of people who are like-minded, then you can see what others are doing, and you can kind of, I guess, feed off of that, because you don't feel alone. You don't feel like you're the only one trying to do the thing, because there's other people around you also doing it. So I think having a community, which, by the way, this is a free plug. I will be creating a community soon. Let me know in the comments if you guys are interested in that, and I can send you more info. But I want to create a community, and the reason why I want to do that is because I feel like there's a lot of people that have 9 to 5s that don't really have a community to go and express. Like, I want to create a community where people have like a space to be like, hey, I have a 9 to 5. I'm thinking about this idea. Like, what do you guys think? And then we can go in there and kind of like share ideas, and like give content information, or like give different information to help people navigate like starting that content journey when you have a 9 to 5, because I don't see enough about that, and I want to create something like that because I think it will be pretty cool. Also, I want to create like weekly calls, monthly calls, and I just want to make sure, like, I don't know, I think it would be cool to be part of a community who has a 9 to 5 and also creates content. I think that would be pretty cool. All right, that was a plug. All right, so that is it for this video. I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked the content. If you did, if you have any more tips or something that you do, put it in the comments below. Catch you on the next one.